What's up guys, Xell here, and today we're going to be talking about the new patch notes that just came out for Final Fantasy XIV, patch 6.1. 6.1 is the newest major patch for Endwalker, and it brings in a ton of new content basically for everyone, and it's made a bunch of quality of life changes that I think are helpful as well. First off, let's go over the new content in 6.1. There's going to be a new main scenario quest line, and it basically begins a whole new chapter in Final Fantasy XIV. It's even titled Newfound Adventure, which is a major departure from the sort of epics that were told in Endwalker and Shadowbringers. It's kind of insane to think that a decade-long story has finally come to a close in Endwalker, and now that we're finally starting a new thing and we're resetting, I mean, it's just kind of crazy, right? Like, we went from basically destroying despair in the universe, and now we are just on a brand new adventure, and I think that's really exciting. In the main story quest, there will also probably be a dungeon at the very end, and we don't really know anything about it. It's listed under the patch notes as question mark, so we'll see when we get there. What isn't hidden, though, is that there's going to be a new extreme trial that comes out with this new patch. This is going to be the Endsinger's Ballad, which, for, you know, anyone who hasn't gone there yet, spoilers, but this is going to be the extreme version of the last story trial in Endwalker when we fight Medion's final form. Judging for the normal version of the trial, I suspect that this is going to be quite a bit longer than the other two trials because I expect there to be a phase change, maybe even a cutscene. So I'm hoping that we'll get 2 totems per run. However, based off the wording of the patch notes, it seems like it'll just be 1. So that's a little bit unfortunate for those who are going to be grinding for the mount. That said, I enjoyed both of the other extreme trials from Endwalker, so I'm hoping that there's going to be a lot of fun new mechanics in this one. Again, judging from the normal trial, I suspect there to be some pretty wonky mechanics with the planets and all the other crazy things. 6.1 will also bring back Unreal trials, and this time they're bringing back Ultima's Bane as the latest Unreal trial. Honestly, I'm a little bit disappointed because, you know, we've faced Ultima Weapon like a billion times in a billion different forms, so I'm a little disappointed that they went with Ultima Weapon rather than, I don't know, say a new Primal. However, that said, there are some neat new rewards that you can get from doing the Unreal trials every week for the Faux Hollow Leaves, which I'll get into a little bit later. There's also going to be a new Alliance trial called Aglaya? I don't even know how to pronounce it. However, we know about this from the previous live letters. It's going to be a new Alliance raid where we get to fight the 12. One of the things that I'm really excited for in this new Alliance raid is that it's going to be voiced. You know, having done Pandemonium raids for, I don't know, the last several months now, I came to miss the voice lines that came in the raids. And, you know, even though some of the voice lines can be annoying, you know, I sense a surge in the ether or whatever, I kind of miss it. It gives it a little bit more life, and I was pretty sad that Hesperos himself didn't have any voice lines that were voiced. So I'm really excited about this, and I'm going to be doing this with a bunch of other content creators tonight as this video is released. Expect some shenanigans. I'm excited to go and do the new Alliance raid. As for other side content, there's a couple of things that'll be coming down the pipeline, not immediately on release, but instead at like 6.15. There's going to be a new set of tribal quest lines, which, again, they're going away from the, you know, calling this the Beast Tribe quests, but it's going to be with the Ark of Sodara. And so, yeah, we'll be helping out some elephant people. Another thing is they're bringing back Hildebrand, which I know a lot of people have, you know, expressed that they're big fans of. And it's been some time, if I'm not mistaken. It's been since Stormblood since we've seen it, so it's been a few years since we've seen new Hildebrand content, so I think that is really exciting as well. And last but not least, there's going to be a new custom deliveries NPC, and it's going to be Ameliance, which is the twins' mother, which probably means that we're going to be able to dress her up, and I'm just saying, great power comes with great responsibility, okay? Aside from the new content, I think one of the biggest things that is coming in 6.1 is all of the ARR updates. This is something that I have personally been saying for a long time, but I actually think that one of the things they should be doing, and I'm glad to see it being done, is to update some of the old content and make it a little bit better, I guess. Anyone who's played the game can tell you that ARR is definitely in one of the weaker parts of the game, and you know, it sucks having to tell people like, oh, you're gonna love it when you get to Heavensward, but it's like, okay, you have to go through 30 to 50 hours of ARR content to get there, and ARR hosts some of the in my opinion, some of the most outdated dungeon designs and all that stuff. And so I'm really excited to go through these patch notes because they've made a bunch of good changes. They aren't super specific on every dungeon that they've changed and what they've changed in it, but they've updated Copperbell Mines, which I'm hoping that it will mean that they change the mechanics a little bit so that it's less, waiting around for the slimes to spawn or the ads to spawn or whatever. So I'm really excited about that. They went over in more specific detail the dungeon Toto Rack, which they are doing a bunch of updates to, and they're getting rid of the slow slimes, which everyone hates, and that sound effect that always plays when you get slowed is super annoying. And they've greatly improved the visibility in the dungeon. So before it was like this very cramped, narrow tunnel sort of system, and now it's more wide open, kind of like sewers, I guess, a little bit. And I think that's going to just make it way less painful to get through that dungeon. They also added a quality of life change to Hawk Manor. Instead of having to press return to get to the beginning of the dungeon to use the seal or whatever, you can just have a warp point, which is really nice. They've also mentioned that they're changing up Brayflux, Zemel Darkhold, and Stone Vigil. However, those changes are less detailed. Some of the bigger changes happened to the things that relate to the MSQ roulette and some trials near it, such as Cape Westwind, which is now actually a solo instance rather than a full-on trial. I would say I would miss Cape Westwind, but you can only hear so many jokes about trying to scare sprouts so many times. So that said, I'm looking forward to seeing what the new Cape Westwind will look like. And yeah, like I said before, in the new MSQ roulette content, so Praetorium and Castrum Marinera, they have done a bunch of changes. So they have made it so that both Castrum and Praetorium now are 4-man dungeons instead of the 8-man content that it used to be. And they've sliced up a lot of Praetorium so that instead there's going to be another trial that separates Praetorium from the ending fights with Ultima and what's his face, Thancred, Asian guy. You know what I mean. And honestly, I think these changes modernize that section because for the later expansions, as you guys probably know, the ending dungeon / trial are separated and they're separate queuable things. And even though they're both basically back to back in the storyline, it just makes it so that when you're forced to do that content again, that it's not as, arduous. I'm not certain what this means for MSQ Roulette and the sort of insane XP that you used to get. They've reduced the amount of poetics that you get from the individual instances. However, they have gone ahead and sort of compensated that for the actual roulette. I'm not sure. I think hopefully that makes MSQ Roulette less annoying to do. I know personally when I was grinding out levels for my characters, I stopped doing MSQ Roulette, not because that it wasn't a good source of XP, but because it's so annoying to do over and over and over again. So yeah, I think these are great changes. They've also gone ahead and made changes to the mechanic indicators from ARR, which aren't standardized the way mechanics are now. So things like at the end of Circus Tower, when you have the big purple orbs as stack markers, which makes no sense compared to where things are today. They've gone and updated that, which again, these are quality of life changes that I feel like have been begging to be made, and I'm glad that they're being done. Aside from ARR, they've made changes to Boja as well. They've incentivized people to now do the Dalriada and Castrum. They've upped the XP amounts there. So hopefully that means that those instances won't be dead. It's kind of sad because I really like those dungeons actually. Like Dalriada, the last boss theme is amazing. So I'm hoping that this makes it so that people are more incentivized to not just mindlessly grind the fates, and you get to actually experience the dungeons, which are fun, and just diversify a little bit, because I think just doing the Boja grind is mindless and soul-sucking. So one of the biggest additions in 6.1 is a new focus, I think, in PvP. Now, this might be a little contentious because PvP in Final Fantasy XIV isn't really highly regarded. However, I kind of welcome this change of pace a little bit. So they're adding a new map mode where it's very Overwatch-like. It's a 5v5 arena where you push a payload into the opponent's base. The timer's 5 minutes, so it's short, it's fast, and hopefully it's fun. They're adding a ranking system now that's, similar to basically every other competitive game out there, where you start at bronze and you work your way up to diamond, and the highest ranking in this game will be crystal. So now we can be see bronze feeders in both League of Legends and Final Fantasy XIV. But not to worry, even if you're bad at PvP, which I suspect I will be, I'm gonna try PvP for the first time. They're adding a reward structure kind of like battle passes, where as you do the PvP game modes, you'll earn an XP towards this sort of battle pass, which I think they're calling series, and it'll unlock new things, new glams, and give you some kind of reward structure for continuing on the PvP matchmaking systems. So essentially, by participating in PvP content, you'll be able to unlock new things, like some of the sweet new glam that they've added. One of the new armor sets that they added makes you look like Bolvar from WoW. Also, speaking of glam, they're re-adding the old armor sets from Garo, which was an old collaboration they've done that has been made unavailable for some time now, but they're bringing that back, and through PvP you'll be able to earn it. If you don't want to do PvP for the Garo stuff, you can buy it through MGP at the Gold Saucer. However, it is very likely that those will be undieable versus the Garo counterparts. Also, the Garo trailer that they announced was actually super hype. I didn't expect them to do such a good job with the in-game cinematic there, but it's actually super sick, so you guys should check that out. And of course, there's going to be a whole, set of items that are going to be added to 6.1. Some of the things that I'm mostly excited about are the new mounts that they've added. So with the reintroduction of the Unreal Trials, they've added a new Faux Leaves mount, which will be the troll from Endwalker. I think they're super cute. I know they're basically just a reskinned Gubu, but I don't know. These things are way cuter. I don't know what to say. There's also a new MGP reward mount that they've added, and that's going to be the pods from the Nier raids, or the Nier games, I guess. I think this is a no-brainer. I'm definitely looking forward to this one. I'm hoping that it's not going to be 2 million like the Cactus mount, the Cactuar mount, but we'll see. And another new mount will, of course, be in the new Extreme Trial, which is going to be another form of the Lynx. There's also going to be a new Pomeranian minion, and I'm super excited about it because it's so cute. This one will probably be in the new dungeon. I assume it's going to be one of those like low rate minion drops that you can get in the endgame dungeons. They've also gone in and added some new customization options. They've added new hairstyles for both Viera and Hrothgar. They showed these off at the live letter. I'm not so certain about how I feel about the Hrothgars losing their ears to have new hairstyles. Personally, I don't think they look that great, but I don't play Hrothgars, so I'm kind of curious what Hrothgar people think. And then they've also added some quality of life stuff in that department as well. You can now preview Mog Station Glam using your inn. So, I mean, that's kind of nice so that you don't have to spend the money first to see what it might look like on your character. They've also gone ahead and added more glam plates, so now you can have up to 20, which I still don't think is enough, but that's still better than what we had before. For people who have a bunch of gil saved up, they're adding new housing plots. This is the finale, basically, of the Ishgard restoration, which has been happening for years now, and now you can actually go and try to purchase a plot of land from Ishgard. So this time around, they're trying a new system. Obviously, Square is aware that the current housing system is not great, to say the least. And now they've made it so that instead there is a lottery system in the beginning. And so you will go to a plot of land, put your name down, and hope that you get chosen. Honestly, with housing, I still feel like there's a lot to be made improved there, but, at least the lottery system makes it somewhat fair in the beginning. So that's my overview of patch 6.1. There's still more stuff that I do want to talk about, like the balance changes, but that'll be in a later video. But that said, I hope you guys check out my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/Xell, where I'll be streaming all the new content and talking about the game. So hope you guys will join me there. All right, thanks for watching, guys, and see you guys next time. Peace.